This is great. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Robbie's not here today, so he got fired. So, guys, I got a come here. I got a new co-host right here. Her name is Luna. Really beautiful dog. She's hilarious too. You guys are gonna love her. A lot of great jokes. Knows a lot about sports actually. I don't know if you knew about that. So, yeah. So I can't wait to start the show. I mean, what do you want to talk about tonight, Luna? What do you think?
Well, Kyle, I think I'd like to talk about paws and bones.
That sounds great. We're gonna talk all about that. So stay tuned, guys.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sport. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you, buddy?
Not too bad. Not too bad. How about you?
Doing well. As you can see here, I've been relegated over here to this this corner chair.
Oh yeah, Robbie.
We actually have an audience member. Tell you what, you guys probably saw in the intro. You know, she's got 4 paws, and as you can see, is really interested in what we're doing right now. Can you say hi to people? Okay. She says hi. You couldn't hear her, but she said hi.
She's very camera shy, so.
But yeah, I'm kind of relegated to this nice. It's actually a very comfy chair. Actually, I don't mind doing every episode like this.
Right? Why not?
Just in this corner chair.
So essentially, we could call this On Two Couches Talking Sports.
Yeah, this isn't really a couch.
Oh, okay, on a couch and a love seat, or on a couch and a recliner, talking sports.
Anyway, we'll workshop that as we go along here. But anyway, we're back for another episode. It's great to be back. It's always good to see you, Kyle. And
I see you too.
Yeah, we got some exciting stuff to talk about because this past week, actually just a few days ago now, this past Monday, we're recording this on Thursday night. Was the annual running of the Boston Marathon. For those of you who don't know, actually, first of all, gotta rewind back a quick second because I almost forgot to mention our 2 amazing sponsors for tonight's episode and every episode of On a Couch Talking Sports, that being Wes Woodson and Zyman Organizing. So please go check them out. Go run to them. Sorry, a little running pun. But anyway,
she liked that joke. What do you think? Oh, she's turning her head away. Okay, maybe.
That's all right. She's throwing tomatoes at me in her mind. That's okay. But yeah, so the Boston Marathon was this past Monday. For those of you who don't know what the Boston Marathon is, it's an annual race held in Massachusetts, here where we live. And it's a 26.2 mile run between Hopkinton, Massachusetts and Boston, Massachusetts. It's been taking place since the 1880s.
Jeez.
1880, I think 2 was what they said was the first race. And this year's was the 129th installment of it, Kyle. And see, for me, and for Kyle in a sense as well, see, like, I basically have lived my entire life in the Natick, Wellesley area, which both towns are on the direct marathon route. And Kyle, obviously, for those of you who know, and for those of you who don't know, you know, lived in Wellesley for quite a long time, you know, basically between middle school and, you know, and post-college life. And so we both have just, like, really had the great luck to sort of live right on the marathon route, you know, for a good portion of our lives. And even now, in adulthood, you know, I still live in Wellesley and Kyle still visits quite a bit. And we still, you know, make opportunities to come back to the marathon route on Marathon Monday, just like we did this past Monday. I actually made a couple of trips down to the Wellesley Center area to see the marathon. I sort of went down once in the morning when, like, the elite runners were coming through, and then back in the afternoon for the charity runners, you know, so the bigger groups of runners that come through. And Kyle, I know, had a sort of sort of afternoon jaunt into the Newton Wellesley area as well to see the marathon. So, Kyle, I just wanna sort of jump right into it here. Just your, I guess, overall impressions of Marathon Monday from sort of your vantage point. Sort of maybe just tell the people a little bit about like where you watched the race, like the circumstances, surrounding, especially I know you had some particular interests in this year's race. So why don't you just sort of tell the people about it from your vantage point here?
Yeah, no, it was great. Like I had always planned to kind of like find some time to visit it this year, and I always do like visiting it, even though or watching it, even though I don't always know someone every year like running the marathon. But this year I actually did have someone I knew, and it was great to see them. I was actually hanging out with relatives, and we had a really great time. We all met up actually right in front of the Newton Wellesley Hospital, and we kind of were. It's kind of like where Beacon Street sort of begins, kind of like right in that area. So essentially, if you took a right into Beacon Street, then that's kind of like the beginning there, and like from if you're driving from like the Wellesley side, and yeah, it was a really good turnout. People were cheering, and I was actually with one of the groups. Honestly, like I was with the Go Liver group. So that was really fun. And it was just very positive vibes. Everyone really was cheering everyone on, and I was even actually next to this one guy who was announcing, and he was just saying the just really funny stuff. None of it mean, just really funny. Just like, oh hey, good job. But he'd just like call out random names that he'd see, and
I love people like that. Yeah.
yeah. Like he had like a loudspeaker and everything, and it was just funny. Like he said, "Hey, I love the that's a really cool twin outfit you're wearing, guys." And it was just really I was having such a blast, and yeah.
That is awesome. I like I said, I was kind of over more in Wellesley Center, and again, just a great day for it. The weather was great. It was a great crowd. A lot of people, especially when I went back in the afternoon, it was quite a a big crowd that had sort of
Oh yeah.
gathered in Wellesley Center on both sides of the road there, and I was sort of right down the street from the infamous Wellesley College Scream Tunnel, where like literally all the Wellesley College girls like on Marathon Monday are going scream and yell for the runners and like all that stuff, and you can hear them even from Wellesley Center. Making a lot of noise, which is really cool. And you just get to see a lot of interesting like people. Like, obviously, running the marathon, you had some people, actually were dressed up in sort of costumes. I saw a guy on stilts.
Oh yeah.
I saw like just it was Easter weekend as well, so like somebody dressed as a bunny, I remember at one point. And then like even just in the crowd, like the sort of costumes you see, like there was like somebody that was right down like a little bit further down from where I was who was in a hot dog costume. So and like the people were like awesome. Playing music. It's just like a real party atmosphere down there where people are watching the marathon. It's just a really cool thing, and it's so much fun to like just have that convenience of being able, like, for me to be able to like just walk like 15-20 minutes down the road and be like right there on the route. And it definitely helps in terms of like not having to worry about finding a place to park or trying to navigate through all the people. Because for those of you who don't know, like when the marathon's going on, like the roads like in town are all closed and are blocked off. So if you want to get to like from one side of the Wellesley to the other, you basically have to go like twice to three times the commuting time, because you have to like go all the way around, like basically Route 9 all the way up and over, like and back around, like to get where you want to go. But like I said, it was just a really, really fun experience. Once again, watching the race, and like I said, I mean there were a couple people like that I knew, like that I knew of that were running. So like I think I saw maybe one from afar. I didn't really see anybody else like I knew per se, but again, it's just it doesn't matter like if you know somebody or not, just to go down there and just sort of like cheer on the runners, and just like to hear just to sort of see all the people, like basically like the whole world like sort of descends on the Boston area for the race. So like you could be standing. That's the thing that I find the most wild about. Is like you could be like when you're standing there, standing next to somebody from like across the street or like across the world. Like almost you just really don't know. I like had a few people ask me for like directions, which I felt so proud, like, to be from in town and be able to like sort of be a little mini tour guide for people, sort of giving them directions. So that was quite cool. But yeah, just overall just a great day, and I really enjoyed it. And this is the second year in a row that I've gone down to watch it, because like a lot of times in like past years. Another tradition on the Marathon Monday in Boston is the Red Sox actually have a home game that morning. They start like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right. So the very
and because it's like it's a Massachusetts state holiday, so like a lot of like businesses and schools and stuff like that are closed and stuff like that. So, so like the Red Sox play at home at like 11:05. So a lot of times like over the years I would go. Into Fenway and watch the game, and they'd be like, check out the runners like after the game, like from Kenmore Square or some of that area. But like the last couple of years, I really haven't gone to the Red Sox game, so I've more just taken a more low key approach and just like I said, walk down and watch the marathon, and I just really have enjoyed it, and so I can't wait to hopefully do it for years to come. Which is
always a good event.
Yeah, which is really nice. And actually, I do have, and Kyle didn't really talk about this. I do have a couple of quick, like, video clips from the race that Kyle I know has seen on my other social media. So I think I might do kind of like idea shopping here. Is I might send Kyle, if it's okay with you, Kyle. Maybe if I send you my little clips, you can edit them into our final product here. That'd be
perfect.
Kind of cool. So we'll you know what, we'll kind of just do a little quick. I'm gonna do a quick cut so that way where to sort of place them into those now. But yeah, anything else you want to add about Marathon Monday or the experience or anything like that?
I think you said it best. You're right. It's just a really positive event, and you're right. I do love seeing the people that like to kind of repeat what you said earlier about the whole like when people dress up. Like I actually saw someone dress up as Forrest Gump. Like that's always my favorite. I feel like every year I see someone dress up like Forrest Gump because it's like the most famous scene of that movie where. It's just like, he runs across the world, so of course someone's going to dress up as Forrest Gump to,
He's got all the people running with him and stuff like that, yeah.
Pretty much. So, yeah.
No, I mean, just some of the outfits you see, like I said, like just from the spectators and the runners alike are just wild. I'm trying to remember if there were any, like, particular, like, costumes that, like, stood out to me. There were, like, a couple women who were, like, dressed up in, like, matching costumes. I can't remember what they were, but like they were dressed up in like kind of like matching costumes. But just like I said, just the people like the spectators like encouraging the runners on, and like just people they don't even know just being like, you keep going, like you were saying before, like you keep going, blah blah blah. And then you see like people who like are in that particular spot, sort of waiting for their runner to come by, and like then like there's sort of the embraces and stuff like that. So
it's always really nice.
It's like I said, it's just great stuff. I felt kind of bad for this one woman who was standing next to me because like she was standing there clearly like waiting for her runner to go by, and at one point she kind of taps me on the shoulder and was like, "Can you help me try to figure out my runners?" And it turned out her runner had like already passed by where we were, and she had missed her, so she kind of like went sort of scampering off to go a little bit further up to try to find her. So I felt kind of bad for that because reading this, because like if you're at the marathon, like one of the cool things is that they do have an app, the BAA app, where like you can actually track in like real time like any particular runners like that you're interested in. Like you can actually like look on a map and see where they are like at that sort of exact moment, which is really cool. But sometimes that map is kind of hard to navigate to read. But like I said, just overall, it's just another really good marathon experience. Like I said, the 129th Boston Marathon this year, and
That's wild.
next year's gonna be the 130th, which is just crazy.
Jeez. Oh, that's gonna be a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's about all I got for the marathon. Unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think you said it good. You said it well.
And I am just gonna sort of use my my final thought for the evening, sort of going into our end segments here to again congratulate the marathon runners. For just finishing the marathon. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like running 26.2 miles, like. And I mean, just to, no matter what your time was, no matter how you did, to be able to finish that race, like, it's just so inspiring to me. Like, I just have so much respect for, like, the runners who, they make it their goal. Like, they train for, like, basically, like, a lot of them for, like, a year straight to, like, compete in Boston. And then, like, they do it and they finish the race, and it's so inspiring. Like, I know, like, I'll be completely honest, like, I could never run a marathon. Like, it just would not be, not be on my alley. Like, maybe could I walk a marathon? Debatable. I mean, I do like walking quite a bit, but
I could see you actually doing that.
Even walking 26.2 miles, like, you're gonna get tired after a while.
True. Like, legs and feet can get destroyed too, just like very sore.
But like I said, it's just so inspiring to see, and I want to tip my, I don't know, I'm not really wearing a hat, but I want to tip my imaginary hat to, tip that pillow to all the runners, and also to the elite runners, because so really quickly they have 4 like elite divisions. There's the elite men runners, the elite women runners, and then the wheelchair racers, like both men and women. They kind of go first and like are actually like in a race, like to try to win the marathon, quote unquote. But just for all the runners, like I said, it's a lot of just respect to all of them, and congratulations on whether this is their first marathon or 31st. It's a really cool thing to see, and I congratulate him, and already can't wait for next year's marathon for sure. So
definitely.
Now I'm gonna turn the proverbial microphone over to Kyle to take us through another, as always, riveting edition of the Souz Reviews. So Kyle, floor is yours.
Cool. So I was gonna just kind of talk briefly about this game I played. It's a very short game. You can probably beat it in like 3 hours. It's called Close to the Sun, and I guess it's kind of a, it's not in the same topic as like the Boston Marathon, but you do a fair bit of running in the game because it is kind of a horror game where it's like a you could say like a horror / adventure style game. It's like a first person game where you're basically this woman who is trying to find her sister who works in this like crazy secret underwater base, and you kind of like find out more about what her sister was doing there, and you find out this whole entire civilization under there. It's a bit like the game BioShock, if you ever heard of that one, where similar idea where there's like underwater kind of like base and you kind of go around, except that one had more action in it, whereas this one's a bit more of an adventure style game. It's more exploration, so the game does really focus a lot on like really on the environment, and I think that's actually probably the game's strongest probably the strongest part of the game is the overall like ambience and the overall environment of the game. It looks very cool and very unique, and it's got kind of a almost like, what do you call it, like a steampunk ish meets like a what do you call it? I know there's like certain terms for that. It's got kind of almost like a futuristic 60s vibe, which is kind of cool. So I know there's like a term. You guys are probably shouting it through the other side of the screen right now, but like there's a term for that. Like it's even, I think, like an art style. But anyways, no, it's a great game. It's a good game. I played it on the Nintendo Switch, which I would say, just from my experience playing on that system, it ran into some problems. I mean, the story was fine. The atmosphere was fine. It was more kind of in the way the graphics and the frame rate was, because there were times where when you play the game, the frame rate would chug a lot. Like the game would slow down quite a bit, and there were some glitches, and I think that kind of kept the game from being really like I think like really good. And also some of the you kind of get involved in these like chase sequences. Haha, see, this is where the running comes in, where you have to run away from these threats. Like I'm not going to spoil what they are, but you do have to run away from threats every now and then. And basically, those can be a bit frustrating because it's not always clear on where to go. And if you make one slightly wrong move, then your character will end up dying, and you kind of have to start. Not like there are some checkpoints here and there, but you do have to start back, you know, to kind of where you once were, little ways back. So, which you know, it's a bit of a drag, but I mean, if you kind of stick with it and if you kind of learn the layout, then you'll eventually get it. Like it's not impossible, but those did kind of slow the game down a bit for me, which is ironic because it's, you know, those are the parts of the game where you'd think, oh, it would, like, you know, the pacing would pick up, you know, it's more of an action kind of. But no, it's more, I was actually more of a fan of the exploration side of it. I really liked kind of like going around this whole underwater base and trying to figure out what was going on here, why were these, you know, scientists kind of working under there, and you do figure out everything by the end. So it is kind of like you're playing through a movie almost. So it's really cool. Like it's definitely got kind of a sci-fi sort of element, sci-fi horror kind of element to it. And the main character I actually really like. I think her name was Ava. She is hilarious. Like she actually is a really fun character to be, and I thought that they gave her a lot of really great lines. Like there's even a part where you're crawling through vents and she does like a little bit of a Die Hard reference, and it's just kind of funny. Like I like when you have characters that have a sense of humor like that, even with all the kind of doom and gloom and like the very serious plot. Like I like how she kind of kept things like light a bit, and she had some really good jokes kind of like every now and then, and it kind of brought some levity to the game. So I would say I would recommend playing this game. You know, it's not perfect. If you like kind of more exploration based games, I think you'll enjoy it. But I think you'll enjoy it on a stronger platform. I would probably recommend going with like either PlayStation 4 or 5 or one of the Xbox systems, probably PC even, because I think PC is probably one of the highest probably graphics wise and frame rate wise and everything. You could probably get the best version with that. But yeah, I would not recommend playing it on the Switch just because of all the slowdown. I don't think you'll have that problem on the bigger systems, especially when you play on the Switch handheld. It really, really chugs. It's really hard to do. I played it both. I played it docked on the TV and I played it handheld. Very hard to play through, but if you can find out a more powerful system, I definitely would recommend check it out. It's not a long game. It's good for, you know, if you find you don't have a lot of time to play video games, you can pretty much fly through this game in like 2 or 3 hours. So it's a pretty solid playthrough. It's called Close to the Sun, and yeah, it's for Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox, all that stuff. So
cool. Well, thank you, Kyle, as always, for that riveting review.
Thank you.
Good stuff. You should definitely take his advice, as always. And you should also definitely check out, like I said, our two sponsors, Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson. Big thank you to them, as always, for their support. And you should always check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but not in real life. Don't do it. Just don't.
Yeah, don't be creepy, guys.
Yeah, that's too much, too far, too soon. But anyway, that's gonna wrap up this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any marathon stories or anything like that you want to share, please feel free to drop it in the comments, and also drop us a like and subscription as well. Luna would really appreciate it. You know, I think you should subscribe just because of Luna. Yeah. If you're a fan of Luna, just subscribe.
Don't mind the snoring. She's totally not asleep. Not asleep at all.
But anyway, that is going to do it, like I said, for this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Like I said, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. And as always, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and we're signing off from the couch. Until next time. Bye, everybody. Nice.
Wow, I can already see people. We're gonna get numbers and by the
We're gonna
hundreds.
go viral.
We're gonna go. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just so. Oh, sorry. That's just our audience member. He used to be our co-host, but now he's our audience member.
Hi guys.
Yeah, I know, Robbie. It's just really upsetting to be demoted. Just yeah. Don't worry, Robbie. It's okay. Maybe one day we'll see. But right now, I think she and I we're gonna be the best. We're gonna make the best show possible.